Good morning, children. In today's class, we are going to study the next practices of crop production is removing the weeds. So, what is the meaning of weeds? See, already I have taught you that the meaning of weeds means unwanted crops. Means when we are cultivating something, along with that, what we are planting, some other plants also will grow. So that unnecessary plants which are growing in a cultivated land is called as weeds. Now, our today's class is removing that unwanted plants is called as weeding. Understand? Or also we can call it as removing the weeds or else weeding. Okay. So when we grow a food crop in the field, any kind of crop, not only the food, any kind of crop, then the addition to the crop plants, many small unwanted plants also germinate and grow in the field naturally. That we cannot predict. So the unwanted plants, or else we can call it as wild plants, because it is coming from the nature. So wild plants, we can call them as wild plants or unwanted plants, which grow along with a cultivated crop are called as weeds. What it is? Unwanted plants or wild plants which grow along with a cultivated crop are called as weeds. So these weeds, these unwanted plants, when they will grow, understanding. So what is going to happen? The growth of weeds in the fields is harmful because they will consume a lot of fertilizer, water, sunlight, space, understanding. So what is going to happen? Mean for the crop plants and reduce the crop yield and lower the quality of food grains. Are you able to understand it? So when you are cultivating the any kind of food grains, what is going to happen? These kind of wild plants will grow naturally. So whatever the fertilizers, water, sunlight, everything, whatever we are providing, so these wild plants will absorb more. Understanding, even including the space also. So they will grow very fastly and even a very bulk in amount. So they will consume all the a lot of fertilizer which we are supplying to the our food crops, and water, sunlight, and mainly the space. So in between one food grain to another food grain, we used to give some little space for growing very healthily and getting a good quality of food grains. But these weeds, what is going to happen? They will occupy the complete space of that, and there is like a pressure to the food grains, our food consume, what we can say that our food crop. So what is going to happen? Since presence of weeds in the fields, they will reduce the crop yield. Crop yield will reduce, understanding. And what is going to happen? Reduce the crop yield. Therefore it is necessary to remove them from time to time. Understand? So you suppose in a single crop cultivating, we used to remove these weeds like a 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, because once if we'll remove after 1 week or after even 2 3 days after itself, again some other kind of weeds are growing, which we can observe in our daily life also. So regularly, for time to time, we have to remove these weeds to grow our food grains very healthily to get the good yield. Understanding? So if you leave these weeds without removing from the land, our cultivating land, what is going to happen? Our crop yield will decrease, and our food grains also will never get a good quality of food grains. So though the most of the weeds get uprooted, understanding, during the plowing of fields, but they reappear when the crop grows. Understanding, when we are plowing the field before going to plant the seeds, means crop seeds, this all the unwanted weeds will be uprooted, means the roots will be removed and will be thrown on the surface of the earth, but they will be die. But once if we'll plant the seeds, and again if we'll start keeping the fertilizer and water, again some more seeds will start germinating, means reappear when the crop will start growing. So these weeds multiply and spread very fast because they produce a large quantity of seeds, because this is like a wild plants and naturally it is happening. So a single plant, if you leave it, but next year it will become, it's like a multiples, because they will produce a large quantity of seeds. So it will be spreading very fastly. So that is the reason why this type of weeds vary from field to field, Understanding, you cannot expect the same kind of weeds is everywhere throughout your area. From even the one, so two fields are side by side, you can observe a different kind of weeds from one field to another field. Understanding, because we are having hundreds of types of different kind of, from area to area, these kind of weeds are varying. So the type of weeds vary from field to field, from crop to crop, and also from season to season, and also from season to season. Also this type of weeds will varies. Understanding, so some of the common weeds means unwanted plants found in wheat and rice. See, because wheat and rice is some food grains, most of the India people will use to, North Indian people will eat wheat, and our South Indian people, we used to eat rice maximum. So rice and wheat, we'll see what are the main unwanted plants found in wheat and rice fields. Understand, so the main unwanted plants which we'll find in wheat and rice plants are four. In that, the first one is wild oat. What we used to call wild oat. So if you want to just browse in Google what is the wild oat, you can able to see that, because in our area it is used to call in some other name, because our local language we used to call some other name. So wild oat, what is the first unwanted plant? Wild oat. Understanding, so this is also we can call it as Javi. Understanding, like that. The next one is common, this everywhere it is grass. What we used to call grass, or else we can call it as gas, GHASS, gas, like that. Understanding, Amarnathas, what is AMARAN, Amaranthus. So Amaranthus means, understanding, Chaulai, what we can call CHAULAI, Chaulai, like that. The next one is Chinopodium. What we used to call Chinopodium. These are the names which is used to find the unwanted plants which we used to find in wheat and rice. These are most important. Understanding, Chinopodium. Chinopodium also we can call it as Bathua, BATHUA, Batha. Understanding, so these are the four unwanted plants which we used to find in wheat and rice fields. So since weeds are harmful to the crops, they must be removed from the fields. So the process of removing this kind of unwanted plants from a crop field is called weeding. That is our today's concept. So removing this type of unwanted plants from a crop fields are called as weeding. So weeding is necessary because weeds compete with a crop plants for water, nutrients, light, and space. For water, nutrients, light, and space. So everything they will give the competition for the our crop fields. So that is why we have to remove it. So what is going to happen, and hence they will affect the growth of the crop. So some weeds are very poisonous for even human beings and animals, whereas some weeds interfere in harvesting. So if you lead some kind of these unwanted plants, they're very poisonous to the humans and even animals. And some unwanted weeds, they will make the difficulty to do the harvesting time. So that is why we have to remove it at every stage of the crop. We have to remove the unwanted plants. So the best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. Because why we need to remove these weeds before their flowering and seeds? Because once if we will allow them to get the seeds, then what is going to happen? This plant you may remove, but by the next time if you will cultivate some other thing, they may produce hundreds, because they will produce a large quantity of seeds. Understanding, they will go very fastly and they will spread very randomly and fastly. That is the reason why we have to, the correct stage or best time for the removal of weeds is before they will start producing the flowers and seeds. So weeding is done by hand or with help of some kind of implements like trowel. Understand? So trowel, I will draw the diagram also. What is the meaning of trowel? So trowel we can call it as kurpa. Understanding? Kurpa. So this trowel is the one of the most implement which we are using in our Indian cultivation. understanding, or else with the done by the hand, or else with the help of implements like a trowel. So weeds can also be destroyed, or else we can controlled by spraying a special chemicals. Nowadays we used to see that for every kind of crop to remove this unwanted weeds, we are having some kind of chemicals, fertilizers, some kind of what we can say pesticides. So if we'll spray them, except our required crop, nothing will be, everything will be what we can say dead, that all the plants will be dead. So that is the reason. So either we can remove with this kind of implements, or else we can spray some special chemicals called, understanding, weedicides. So we are having name that also. We should not call them as fertilizers or pesticides. So we used to call them as weedicides. What we used to call? Weedicides in the crop fields. So the various methods of weeding or controlling weeds are eradicating weeds. You just remember weedings what we used to call controlling weeds or weeding, or else eradicating. Eradicating means what? Reducing, or else controlling. Everything is a mean. Eradicating weeds. Eradicating weeds. We are having a different kind of various methods to remove these unwanted plants, or else weeding, or else controlling weeds. In that, the first one is removal of weeds by pulling them out with hand. Understand? So the first method of removing the weeds is what? By pulling them out with hand. Understand? So how we can do that? So the what is the first method? You just keep heading that various methods of weeding. Understanding? What is the first? What is various methods of weeding? Understanding? So what is the first method? By hand. Understanding? Removal of weeds by pulling them out with hand. Understanding? So in this case, weeds can be removed from the crop fields just by pulling them. Understanding? Like this. Suppose, let me imagine this is the weed. So I will hold like this from the bottom of this. It's like a surface on the earth, and I will try to plucking out from the soil with the complete root system of that unwanted plant. Understanding? So pulling them up with the hands. When we pull the weeds, they get uprooted from the field. So these uprooted weeds then we can throw away from the field. Like this. This is the first method of weeding. Like that, the next method is removal of weeds by using a trowel. What is? By using a trowel. So trowel means what? Kurpa we can call that. So weeds can be removed by digging or cutting them close to the ground from the time to time with the help of an implement called as trowel. Either we can dig with this, or we can uprooted them, or else we can cutting this, understand, weeds very close to the ground level. Suppose this is the ground and this is the unwanted plant. So here till this ground level if you're cutting, understanding, for the time to time with the help of an implement called as trowel, then what is going to happen? These weeds will be controlled, or else weeding will be done. So this trowel, we can call them as, like, it will be looking like a sharp kind of, see, which is having some kind of handle. Understanding? Which we can see that even it's like a carpenter used to use like this one. A sharp one. So this is a sharp edge. So I can hold this one. And I used to dig like this wherever I used to find the weeds, and I will remove with them. Understand? So this is called as what we used to call trowel. Understand? So with this is having a sharp edge. This kind of different kind of trowels is present in different kind of places. You don't think that. I'm showing you just kind of a sample. Understanding? So if we'll go to different places in India, we used to find a different kind of trowel shapes which we used to use in removing the weeds. So this is all called as weeding. Understanding? So like that, the next method is what it is? By spraying the weedicides. By spraying weedicides. Understanding? So what is going to happen? By destroying the weeds by spraying special chemicals called as weedicides. So we know that the poisonous chemicals which are used to kill weeds, unwanted plants in the fields are called as weedicides. Understanding? So some of the common weedicides are 2,4-D. That name is, I am saying you just need to remember some of the common weedicides which you are using to kill the weeds from the cultivated lands is 2, understanding 4-D. This is the one of the chemical, understand, and MCPA and butaclar. These are the chemicals, BUTA, understanding, CHLOR. These are the 3 chemicals which we are using to destroy the weeds. One is what? 2,4-D, first one, and next one is what? MCPA. If you'll see that, you can ask them directly, MCPA and butaclar. Understanding? So a solution of these weedicides in water is sprayed on the standing crops in the fields with a sprayer, with a pump. Understanding? So these chemicals, they will give you certain amount. Understanding? For 100 liters of water, this will be like a 50 ml, something. They will give you the quantity for a mixing quantity. So a solution of these weedicides we will mix with the water and we will spray it on the standing crops in the fields, which with the help of a sprayer, means a pump. Understanding? We can say that a spray, this weedicides pump, we are having some kind of machinery. So with that pump we will spray. So what is going to happen? These weedicides, they will kill or destroy the weeds, understanding, but do not damage the main crop. That is the main thing. So they only will destroy the unwanted weeds. They will never destroy the main crop. Understanding? They will only react with the unwanted weeds, unwanted plants, and they will never damage the main crop. Okay, so the weedicides are sprayed in the crop fields before the flowering and seed formation in the weeds takes place. Okay, so when we used to spray this, when let it grow the weeds and very well, understanding, when they are in it's like a what younger stage, they are going to flowering and they are going to form the seeds. At that stage you have to spray these chemicals. Okay, so since weedicides are very poisonous chemicals, okay, therefore spraying of weedicides may affect the health of the person who handles the weedicide sprayer. Understand? So we have to wear everything, gloves, mask, face mask, everything, because these weedicides are very dangerous. So the weedicides should spray, understand, so should sprayed on the standing crops very carefully. During the spraying of weedicides, the person should cover his nose, mouth properly with a piece of cloth or any kind of mask, so as to prevent the inhaling of poisonous weedings. Understanding? Inhaling means what? Taking that, breathing that poisonous chemicals, weedicides, he needs to cover with a piece of cloth. So this is called as about the removing the weeds or else weeding. So we are having 3 methods of removing the weeds. The first one is what? By using a uprooting by hand, and next one is by using a trowel, and next one is what? By spraying the weedicides. Understanding? So with this, I'm going to end this today's session. Thank you.